Hello, my friends. We are, well, you know what? I think I'm a little bit afraid of being around people in this game. I was going to land and go sell some cargo, but let's talk about that in a moment. So, I was doing some cargo runs the other day, and I was, like, admiring my ship, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was like, wait, what? Hey, a constellation. Now, one thing I know about a constellation is because I got to I managed to buy in-game a constellation during the 3.17 series of the game, and it was really fun. And I am positive that the constellation can literally tear this ship apart. So when this guy showed up, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to stick around. But I had already collected as much cargo as I probably was going to get, especially with a constellation showing up. They have a little bit more cargo space. Yeah, that guy was going to take whatever he could for the next hour. But I had already purchased the Laranite that I was aiming at getting, so I didn't mind. I figured I would just go and make directions towards, the other location that I have here. Usually I use 4.5 and 5.6 for the various mining facilities on Walla. So that being said, I usually go between mining facility 4.5, 5.6, the orphanage, and the Samson and Sons salvage yard or scrap yard. That's what it is. Because using that particular loop, you can actually make a fairly decent wage if everything is full. Not too surprisingly, the slam and ETAM at the orphanage tends to be pretty low, like 3 to 5, if there's any at all. At least when I show up there. I'm sure that somebody's getting a decent chunk of cargo from them. But I had some very interesting observations over the last week. One, I got hit with a few bugs right after I finished my video last week, and it was 400,000 credits worth of cargo lost. Just after I hit 1 million credits and I lost 400,000 credits, that was, not too surprisingly, I rage quit a couple of times over that one. But here I am. I'm nearing the 1 million credits again 1 week later, but I had some interesting observations about the bugs that happened. Now, the bugs were your typical 30k and a few others like disappearing cargo, and one that was shockingly weird of cargo that was in my ship but couldn't be sold, and for some odd reason I couldn't move it out of my ship because I eventually parked the ship just outside a station, went to the station like by EVA, and then I got a new ship, and lo and behold, I couldn't even tractor beam the cargo across ships. It was totally weird. So I finally gave up on that ship, and I was, oh no, not another. These constellations are getting to me. Anyway, it's almost like they're following me. That might actually be the same guy. I'm not sure. I didn't target him and try to figure it out, but I was like, yep, okay, I'm out. Let's go to the orphanage. Okay, I will set coordinates for the orphanage, and we'll fly to the orphanage. Now, over the course of the last week, I was very fascinated by what people were saying in chat. Oh, did you guys just see that? Yeah. Is that another constellation? Oh my gosh, it's like they're... Now this guy's ahead of me. But this guy, I'm pretty sure, is a different guy because it is... I flew straight here, and that is a different color constellation. At least it seems like it is. But the chatter on the verse was kind of shocking. I was really surprised at the sheer amount of people who were cursing the game and saying, this sucks, and 10 years of development, and this still has bugs. And then I put together an interesting commonality. The Xeno Threat. I'm pretty sure something about the Xeno Threat might actually be, and this is not confirmed, this is just Dr.X42 coming up with crazy ideas on his mind, but I wonder if the Xeno Threat is actually a stress test on the servers. Because when anybody did go to the Xeno Threat, one, the chatter freaked out. they would be like, dude, don't do that. You're going to crash the game. And sure enough, a 30K would follow within 10 to 15 minutes. That was not... I don't think that's an abandoned constellation over there, guys. I'm probably about to get shot. Yeah, this is probably a bad idea. I'm going to stand off to the side and hope that... well, he's not turning around to shoot me, but, you know, I don't want to be around people right now, so let's skedaddle. So the chatter coming across from a variety of players, not all players, was very surprisingly negative. Like, people complaining about them donating, losing money over this game and stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm like... You know, really, if you're having troubles and you haven't reported it, especially to CIG through the official channels instead of just complaining on the game, aren't you kind of part of the problem? And it really made me a little bit more tolerant to the game, for one, because I realized that if the Xeno Threat is a stress test for the servers... Yeah, I might not want to do anything important. I probably should concentrate on things like, I don't know, doing bunker missions or trying to do just hunt down the call to arms type people, you know? Just pick those missions up and work them in accordance with just collecting a little bit of dough. And maybe cargo missions I should be cautious about. Make sure that I'm willing to lose it, which most of the time I'm not. Maybe when I got to, like, if I ever get to like 30 million, I will not blink an eyelash about losing cargo. But if I'm at 30 million, I probably have a way bigger ship and I might blink an eyelash anyway. I don't know, the struggle is real. But moving on through the comments of people's and their negativity and the almost closed-minded thoughts of, well, this should be perfect by now. I mean, yeah, admittedly, this is the most funded game in the history of games. It does still have bugs, which is not a bad thing. They quite literally have built the most amazing game ever seen before, because I have never been able to enjoy the sheer universe around me as much in a space game as I do in Star Citizen. Elite Dangerous is pretty good. I do have a copy of Elite Dangerous. I do not have the copy that allows you to walk around. I can't remember what that one is. I have the Horizons copy. So I can go planet side and get out like a rover or something like that, but you can't move around the ship. And for me being a space junkie, space techie, space nerd, I tend to like the idea of walking around inside the ship. And Star Citizen has delivered. That is one of the most fantastic things, especially if you get to go on some of the bigger ships. Holy cow, like the A90 Jump, that is a fun ship to walk around. I really want to figure out why they would even put a swimming pool on a starship like that, but, you know, for right now, it's really cool. Meanwhile, I also was realizing that if they're doing that, like the Xeno Threat was a little OP. Like, I was pretty surprised that my one ship was torn apart so quickly. Yeah, but I'm not going to take it and go screaming at the rest of the verse about it. I just kind of took it for what it was. I'm not a great dogfighter. I can dogfight, and I plan to dogfight later in this video, so stick around. But I don't usually search for it. Like, if I'm going to go dogfighting, I'm going up against the kind of stupid AIs that are just sitting there, and they have the big red token on them. So I'm like, okay, let's go collect 500 credits. And I really like the fact that right now it's not just 500 credits for one ship. It's like some of those guys have 4 or 5 guys on the ship. Like if it's a Drake Cutlass, it typically has 3 to 5 people on that ship. So when you take down that ship, you get a lot of credits. It's kind of cool. So that's what's happening right now. I was about to land and I noticed the red icon and I'm like, okay, let's pull it up. And let's go hunt down this guy. I didn't know where he was. Oh, there he is. So let's go dogfight. And this was actually kind of sad moment for me because I was late to the party, and somebody beat me to it. If you watch, I never targeted the guy who showed up, but there is somebody who shows up and you can see his icon in the top right of my HUD right there right now. And he takes out both of these ships and gets the credits for it. And even though I wasted my missiles on this guy, and it's like, ah, man, totally set myself up wrong. And again, this is kind of why I don't like being around people, because they take stuff from you, even if they're not being pirates. And I actually have to say, I'm surprised I was not immediately shot down by this guy after the fact, because, yeah, he probably would have just shot me down if, depending on the type of situation. I had about half cargo in the ship at this moment, but yeah. And you can also see some of my other failures is I have full shields right now, and I'm not charging up my weapons, so I really didn't deserve this kill. Yeah, the other guy got it. But I did run into one more guy after I went and got cargo. So, yeah, we'll check that out in just a second. Let's go get the cargo first. But here's the thing. If you're gonna buy into a game and you know it's in alpha, are you really going to waste your days complaining about the game? I mean, other people are sitting there and they're like, well, still buggy, we'll see you next year. And it's like, you came in during Xeno Threat. You don't realize how stable the game is when Xeno Threat isn't here. Because when Xeno Threat ended on May 2nd, the game became shockingly stable again. I have not had a lot of crashes. There's a few crashes, and they even admit it in their roadmap area that there are a few crashes that will happen. But admittedly, the crashes are a lot further and far between, and it seems like the crashes for me have only happened when I might be moving and I try to put something from my inventory into my character's hand, like, for example, a drink, so that I can get rid of my dehydration and food hunger stuff, that stuff. But in the instances where it has happened to me, I have not had, at least since May 2nd, I have not had any loss of cargo, and I have not been worried about that. Ooh, there's our next guy. Let's go get him. I have not been worried about losing the cargo because I've had my ship turned in, or things have just worked out in the fact that I didn't lose the cargo. One of the instances where this happened, I was approaching Area 18, and much to my surprise, probably about 2,000-ish meters above, is it meters? Yeah, 2,000-ish meters above Area 18, coming in for a landing, the game crashed. And I'm like, oh crap, I just lost my cargo, and I was pretty distraught. And I'm like, well, let's go see what the damage is. And I logged back in. My ship had continued, bumped into the ground, bounced off the ground, and was spinning out of control when I got back into the game. It didn't damage the ship, though. My ship was just kind of spiraling off. And when I came in, yeah, my character almost blacked out from the G's, but I was able to push the joystick in the counter direction, and I stopped myself, and I was able to turn around and go back and dock. It was like, whoa! So, yeah, this kill was really interesting to me because I actually managed to do this kill a little bit faster than I expected. I'm going to chalk it up to a lucky shot. Yeah, that's basically what it adds up to. Let's go get rid of this cargo at the orphanage. So, now I feel for you guys. I went through a lot of the bugs, and I have suffered through a lot of these bugs. I lost, like I said, 400,000 credits. That's probably peanuts in comparison to what you guys have lost. And of course they suck. But I feel like CIG is at least trying to fix them. Now, in terms of their roadmap, it looks like we might have another wipe coming up because we are going to transition into 3.19, which could be a very fascinating change for the game, especially since we might actually be able to go to a ship that you've destroyed, take the guns and missiles off of it, and then maybe even reload your ship on the fly. Well, not on the fly, but without paying for it. Or you can take the stuff to a station or a location and sell it. That's kind of cool. Like, this is physicalized inventory on a whole new level. but there are likely to be some bugs. And I was thinking about it. I think I'm okay with that. I am going to do my best to have fun with the game, and even though when you know that a wipe is coming up, it kind of takes away a little bit of the motivation for like gaining massive amounts of wealth. There have been times in the past where CIG actually gave you some sort of small compensation for what you did lose, like maybe 10% of what you did have, or I remember one a long time ago where they provided you with a certain amount of credits for every hour you played during that previous period of time before the wipe. That was actually the exact reason why I was able to get a constellation during the 3.17 updates, and that was really fun. I enjoyed it. So I am not going to stop playing, and I really would like your guys' feedback. Does a wipe actually stop you from wanting to play the game, or does it just give you that sensation of freedom where you're like, I can just try whatever I want and nothing's going to worry about it come the wipe, and I'll just be okay? Yeah, take your pick. Let me know in the comments below if you have been affected by the bugs, or if you have been really frustrated by these things. Like, I'm sure you have, and I am willing to listen to you, and maybe I will, if you're not willing to submit the ticket, maybe I'll take the time to submit a ticket and say, hey, a friend of mine, they had this bug happen to them. I hope it helps you guys to at least know that this bug is happening. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I really want you to know it is so fun to be able to make these videos for you. I actually do. I end up talking a lot about what I'm doing because I am not yet good at the conversation side of trying to relate this more to you, but I am trying to figure it out on how I can help you more. And so that being said, another thing that you could comment in the area below is I would love your feedback as to what you're interested in seeing, or if you have a question, I'm willing to take the time to research and figure out how to do it and then make a video for you. So just let me know in the comments below, and we can see what happens. If I don't get any comments, I'll just continue making videos just like normal. And I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep on flying, guys. I hope you have fun in the verse. Bye-bye.